And there we go, everyone. We are back again for another fantastic conversation on Friday Night Counterattack. And this is a topic of conversation I've been waiting 3.5 years to be talking about, to be discussing, to be debating. Who is the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi or I'm joking, it's not that. We're definitely not doing that today as well. What we are doing is something similar in a way because we are doing an all-time La Liga draft, and I've got the energy for it. I've been preparing for it. I've actually been worried for this one because it's been very, very difficult for me to really think about, you know what, the first time in a long time, in my opinion anyway, if it matters or not, I'm not the favorite for this one because obviously we've got Sara Poraria, who is an avid Barcelona fan, a very, very big La Liga fan, on the podcast with me, and there is no help from any of our co-hosts today. So it's literally me versus Sara for this all-time La Liga draft. And Sara, before I introduce you to the podcast, I need to make an announcement for this one. Unlike normal drafts, when you do one player per team or two players per team, because it's the two of us, and because I want to get a lot more knowledge from you in terms of understanding La Liga players from your point of view, and because it's not every day we get to speak about La Liga fully on our podcast, I've now changed this draft to a 4-3-3 system, wildcards as we normally do, but you get to pick three players per team because we spoke about it recently and we were like, should I put a certain player who was good at another team but best at another team? So for the sake of variety, I know I don't mind losing this one, but I'm going down fighting as I always do. No, you know what? I'm pretty good at this one. I'm very happy with this one. But we are doing all-time La Liga draft and all-time La Liga in our lifetime. But my way of saying sorry to Sarah for changing it last minute is we're getting three players per team. So, Sara Poraria, how are you doing today? And did you like that last minute change?
I'm doing great, thank you. I don't know if I liked it because I have a bit of a lineup already set up. I went through a bunch of.
Same. I had it with one player per team and two players per team, but I thought, you know what? Let's
Well,
try
now
it.
I have players that I didn't even include because I was thinking, do you know what? Those are the players I want from Real Madrid. Don't even include them in this position because I have too many. And now
Curveball.
I'm already adding one immediately that I didn't have before, and maybe I'll get them. I don't know. This is
Maybe.
interesting now.
It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very, very difficult for a lot of people to be playing at home with one player per team or two players per team. But I thought, you know what, with three players per team, per club, it's not really about trying to get the best out of some of these best clubs. It's about having that variety to then go, you know what, they were a very good player. And I do want to talk about them this week on the podcast because when I have been listening back to a few of our podcasts recently, Sarah, I'm like, it's really cool to learn about footballers from different people's perspectives. You know, I've seen them or I've noticed them, but I need to get a bit more from people's perspectives. So I thought, you know what, for this one, because we were meant to be three of us on the podcast, and now it's just two of us. We're going to fire away with three players per club, um, which will be quite, yeah, it'll be quite difficult because I now have to change mine as well. But you know what? This is what we do. We throw curveballs every now and then, which would be good.
All right. Well, yeah, this is going to make it very interesting. Listen, what I told you before we started recording was no one should be nervous in this situation because there are so many good footballers that have played in La Liga, as we know, and we are only picking 22 of them combined. And we're also trying to keep them relatively within our lifetime. This was something you also threw at me about 2 hours ago. So I tried to make a couple shifts because there are some that I think should maybe be there, but maybe they weren't in our lifetime. So we can keep them aside for now. But I'm
All I'm saying is before we get on to record, I was looking at it and I was like, there could potential catastrophe of losing within like the first three picks. The first three picks, if we were to do it of all time as well. Like literally wild card, goalkeeper, right back, I would have been like, we're done. We're absolutely done from here as well. So I was like,
interesting. You're
yeah.
going.
So I was like, it would have been absolutely crazy. But without further ado, like I said before as well, we are now doing this year's drafts through our wheel spin as well. So I've got my spinny wheel out here as we normally do. But whilst I get this wheel set up, Sarah, why don't you tell the audience a bit about how La Liga has changed from when you first started watching La Liga to where it is now in 2024?
Yeah, it's a strange one because I feel like when I started watching La Liga properly, let's say early 2000s, it was
Mhm.
still kind of coming up compared to the Premier League, which was maybe and the Serie A in
Yeah,
their prime, right? And then as I got a bit older, La Liga completely dominated. I know there's always the argument, well, there's only three teams in La Liga, being Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid. But at that time as well, we saw Valencia, we saw Sevilla, we saw both Basque sides, Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao. We saw Villarreal. Like it was such a dominating league. And yes, Barcelona and Real Madrid maybe dominated in Europe. I mean, in Champions League, Real Madrid surely, but in Europa League, we've seen Sevilla, we've seen Villarreal. Like it was such a, I think, good time for me and my lifetime to kind of go through that because I've really been able to see so many teams thrive. And I think a lot of these teams are overlooked by people who are maybe not as familiar with La Liga, which is a shame. But hopefully we give some light to some of those teams and players this podcast.
that's the main point of this one as well. Because for me personally, what I want to ask you as well is, living in Canada, did you get much access to watching La Liga week in, week out? Or was it mostly focused on like local football or Premier League football? How did that work from your perspective? Because for me, like La Liga would always be on TV every single weekend. The hype around David Beckham was huge. Michael Owen
Sure.
going to Real Madrid was huge as well. Steve McManaman, who went to Real Madrid, was huge as well. So we always had that access to it. But did you have that kind of similar access growing up to La Liga football?
No, definitely not. Like if you wanted to watch La Liga games when I was really young, you'd have to go to like a Spanish bar with like your parents and you'd have
Okay,
to be like all the hardcore fans. But then when I was in my kind of teens, we actually subscribed to Be in Sports, who were the provider for La Liga. And me and
nice.
my dad were so happy to just be able to watch all the games. And like Ray Hudson was commentating rather on the time. So yeah, it was a bit difficult. I mean, to be fair, even now, we technically have access to La Liga, but they pick and choose which games they're showing.
Yeah.
And they also don't always show it if there's, let's say, something that might be bigger, like have a bigger audience in Canada. So there's nowhere to subscribe right now anymore because at this point I'd be willing to pay, whatever the monthly fee is to be able to watch La Liga. But because there is a network that does give it to the Canadians for free, you can't do that, but they're not showing any of the games. I think it was last year they didn't show El Clasico over the weekend. And I said, don't this
Imagine that happened in the UK as well. That happened this season in the UK, which is embarrassing.
it's just like it's the one. It's the one that if you're gonna claim to show them, this is the one you have to, and they didn't. And so unfortunately, I'm finding myself streaming these sites.
Ooh,
Like streaming, yeah, it's not great. It's not great, but how am I meant to watch football?
exactly. Through Twitter or Instagram, like a lot of people now have to do,
Or stuff
unfortunately.
like YouTube actually has streams to games. The YouTube are showing the Asia Cup.
Yeah, we're
But
getting AFCON on our main TV now, which is great, but we're still not getting the Asia Cup, but we have to watch it on YouTube, uh,
yeah.
which is a big thing as well. Excuse me. But no, that's just something I was finding fascinating. For some people, they can watch it willy-nilly really for free as well. Like the Premier League, we can watch every game in the United States and people just don't care. But in the UK, we still can't show the 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Which
So
is
funny
crazy.
to me that you guys can't watch every Premier League match, which is your domestic league. And
Mm.
there's like they pick and choose if there's, yeah, like you said, a 3 o'clock kickoff and there's two matches, they pick which one. How does that make sense?
The reason the authorities say it is because they don't want it to impact lower league football, because British lower league football is one of the biggest in the world. So you've got the Championship, League One, League Two, and the National League. So they said for the whole weekend, besides that 3 o'clock blackout from 3 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. GMT, you cannot go and watch TV, football on TV. You have to go and watch a game rather outside in your national league, your local team, whatever. But if you're going to watch a Premier League game, say Man United versus Bournemouth, 3 o'clock kickoff, you have to go to the stadium or you can't watch it, or you have to go on these other sites as well, which is something odd as well. But it's one of those things where they want to protect the authenticity of it. But I think it's quite outdated because there are games abroad that you want to watch that are happening at 3 o'clock, and you're just
Sure.
like El Clasico. Want to watch it? Bayern Munich. Want to watch it? Can't watch it. And then what they'll do is they'll have the whole 90-minute highlights around like 7 o'clock in the day, in the afternoon, sorry, in the evening. And you're like, I've already seen the 3 minute highlights on YouTube because it's out already. And you're just like, I don't want to watch this now. So it kind of
Yeah,
ruins the impact and the appeal of it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
And I don't know if you're like me, but I really struggle to watch matches after they've already happened. Like the full 90 highlights, sure, because of course we can.
100%.
But for me, like I remember my dad used to tape games, come home and watch them because obviously he's not on social media and stuff. And I was like, it's painful. It's actually something that I can't do. It's miserable not knowing and just trying to stay off your phone and not even social media, but surely we all have friends that text us about the matches and it's really
You in particular, every Saturday, you're like, Man United, what's happening? And I'm like, what have I missed so far? This is crazy. And I'm like, it's just not happening
the
for me
group.
at all.
Yeah, our Friday night counterattack group is it's detrimental if you're not watching.
It's very, very bad. And you're just like last weekend at the time recording, Travis and I went to play football and we missed the second half of the game. And we're just like, what's the score? What's the score? What's the score? And it just finished 2-2 when we left it. So we're like, oh, okay, it's perfectly fine. But we were just waiting for something big to happen so we could rub it in each other's faces, and it just never happened at all. Which wasn't great, but
Missed the Man U Tottenham match.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. That good for you guys. There's not a hope I would ever miss a Barca game of that level.
He was just like, oh, it's Man United, and I'm just like, oh, it's Tottenham, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So it's all good. But I've got a video to show you later of me playing against Travis. I need to send that off air as well, which is good. And yeah, we're in the right mood, we're in the right mindset for this. But this is where our pain begins, because now we've got Spin the Wheel 2024 edition. Sara, you're in red. I'm in purple. I was hoping for more people on the draft today, but the more the merrier for us. And let's begin with the spin. Maybe the sound effects come through. So this is for your first pick.
It's
See,
me.
I'm never biased, and the thing is never lying. The wheel was never lying.
Let's
So
remember last week I gave you the first pick for free because I was feeling bad.
nah, I appreciate it, but we're sticking with the wheel. The wheel is what wins us and loses us the drafts. But without further ado, everyone, let's get into the all-time of our lifetime La Liga draft. 4-3-3 formation, any variation, 3 players per club, because we are talking about some of the best players to ever play football. So I'm not going to want to leave a few players out. And I definitely don't want people on social media to be hounding Sara and I, be like, how dare you not put this person in, this person in, this person in. We're putting our tests, we're putting our strength to the limit with this one, our thoughts to the limit. But we
Yeah.
are also going to be enjoying and have a bit of a relaxing period for drafting this one, which would be good fun. So without further ado, Sara, take it away. Your wild card for your all-time La Liga draft. Where are we going?
Do you want to take a guess?
I'm guessing they're not from Spain. I'm guessing they're not from Spain.
You are correct. I mean, listen, there's no other player I would ever pick for any draft ever if I could pick him. It's going to be Lionel Messi. Come on now. One of the best players, the best player that has ever played for Barcelona, the best player that has ever played football. I mean, I don't feel bad taking him. I feel safe. I feel already this team could be really good because you have him there. And yeah, I'm quite happy I got him. I think you're also okay with me taking him. I feel like that might be fine for you.
I mean, I'm happy that you got him. Don't get me wrong, but I need a bit more hype for this one, Sara. Like, obviously, we've spoken about how you got to watch him in person, but I want to know the transition really from when you saw Lionel Messi play as a right winger to when he played as a false temp. And then I want you to tell me where you're playing him in your team, because there are a lot of versions of Lionel Messi that you can consider the greatest version of Lionel Messi. You got the right winger, the scrawny winger who was fantastic at taking on anyone. You had the demon under Pep Guardiola who just realized how cold he was in world football. Then you even had blonde Lionel Messi later down the line, who's more of a leader to his other teammates as well. You had MSN Messi as well. What is the greatest version of Lionel Messi for you? And what position are you playing him in for your draft, and why?
It's hard to pick the greatest version of Messi because I think he has so many eras where he's a bit different, but he's still great. Like, as we even can see recently winning the World Cup. I mean, it's like the guy can't stop. So, but maybe my favorite was, I mean, MSN was special. MSN
Really?
was special. I really do think that because that was at a point where Messi had a lot of experience and time at Barcelona, but he had kind of become a leader at that point.
Yeah.
And then, of course, playing with Suarez and Neymar, two of the best footballers we've seen in our generation, no doubt. The football was just brilliant. I think I'm gonna play Messi though as a right. Okay, wait.
Ooh.
Can I explain my
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
because I was playing around here. So obviously 4-3-3 is hard with some of these players. So the way I'm going to do it is my midfield, I'm going to have the right wing, the left wing, the CDM up front, my two strikers, and have a cam right behind them. Is that fine with you?
That's the 4-4-2.
That's a 4-3-3 because my cam's going to push.
Nah, that's a 4-4-2 diamond. You got a defensive midfielder, two centre midfielders, and a cam behind two strikers. That's 4-4-2, Sarah.
Well, I think the cam can push to be another striker as well because the players.
He can, don't get me wrong, but that's a 4-4-2. When you look at it on paper, it's 4-4-2. I'm fine.
It's just tough. All right, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't really do like it's gonna be fine either way. But yeah, I think
Yeah, like that 4-4-2 diamond.
4-3.
Three. That is definitely not three. That's the four. That's an extra midfielder right there.
I want to go back to some 4-4-2s for some of these. I noticed for
We really should have done 4-4-2 for this one, but I'm like, Spain is synonymous. Spain is synonymous for 4-3-3. Like we couldn't do a 4-5-1 or a 3-5. I was thinking 3-4-3 for this one. That would have been crazy. To see three centre backs and two wing backs. I was like, oh, incredible.
All right.
But no, we're sticking with 4-3-3. Where are we going with this one, Sarah?
We're sticking with 4-3-3. I'm moving Messi out of the right into the middle because I'm making a tactical decision here after that me trying to get a 4-3-3 formation in there. Listen, I think wherever you put Lionel Messi, he's gonna be useful. We've spoken that he's able to play in the middle. He's able to play from behind. He's able to play on the right. Being one of those versatile players, I'm not as worried, but this is going to be tactical. And I hope this works out for me because if not, this might have been a silly decision.
So just to confirm, are you playing Lionel Messi as a false 10 or a right winger?
False 10.
False 10. I like it. I like it. This is what we like to see. This is a player where I know if I don't pick him and then you end up picking him.
You're
Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna stick to my guns with this one because if you do pick him, you pick him. Fair enough, and I don't mind it at all. I'm gonna stick to Cristiano Ronaldo for my left winger. It needs to be done because Cristiano Ronaldo for me brought so much joy as a Manchester United fan, so much passion to the game, and his energy that he brought season after season. You could see so much in terms of how he improved when he went to Real Madrid, how much ownership he took on himself. I remember that penalty miss after Bayern Munich and they missed on penalties and he's like, I'm going to get you guys a Champions League. And he got more than what he bargained for as well. What, 4 Champions League at Real Madrid, which is incredible. But again, he could have done a bit more for me personally in La Liga. But at the time of speaking, Real Madrid went through so many changes when Cristiano Ronaldo was there as well. You had the Ancelotti era, you had the Zidane era as well. And then he ended up moving on elsewhere to Juventus. But Cristiano Ronaldo scoring what? How many goals did he score? 292? No, he scored 311 goals for an 80 million pound signing for Real Madrid. I know we're not going to say bargain for this one because it's not. But again, total goals he scored for Real Madrid, 450 goals in 438 appearances as well. He won ridiculous amounts of trophies. He had one of the greatest, again, it's a more media fan rivalry more than anything. You know, there's respect between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, every time you see them on the pitch, they shake hands, they hug. They have these glamorous friendlies every season now. You've got Al Nassr playing Inter Miami soon as well, which I'm really looking forward to seeing at the time. I saw it last season with Al Nassr versus PSG, and you see Messi and Ronaldo just meet on the pitch, and it's one of the greatest sporting rivalries, probably the greatest sporting rivalry we've ever seen in our lifetime. And I'll happily put Cristiano Ronaldo on the left wing for me because there is a striker. I'm gonna risk it all for this striker later on. I'm gonna have to wait and see what happens with the striker later on. And if you pick him, then it's game over. But remember, this striker that I'm thinking of picking can also play as a winger. That's why that's why I'm risking it all, because it's like you can't then put him either side, which is really embarrassing if I lose it. If I lose it, I lose it. This is what happens. This is what the drafts are for. This is why it's so fun. But yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo is making my wild card pick for the draft, and I never get to pick Ronaldo. So this is why it's so fun for me with Cristiano Ronaldo as well. But yeah, one of my favorite moments in La Liga for Cristiano Ronaldo was basically just seeing him score some of the best goals I've ever seen in La Liga history as well. He could score outside the box with his left foot. There was a time when he just was unstoppable in the air as well. His air time was ridiculous
Mm,
comparison to some people in the NBA, which was unbelievable as
crazy.
well. Absolute superhuman of a footballer, superhuman athlete, and is an inspiration for a lot of people going forward. Like we see nowadays, people like Dominic Szoboszlai, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, all bigging up Cristiano Ronaldo and saying, he's my inspiration. I'd love to meet him, love to chat football. And even Mbappe said recently, as well, he's like, the fact that Ronaldo outscored me at 38 years old goes to show he's one of the greatest players ever. As well. And I can't let you have him in the team. I know you may not have picked him because I know you're not a fan of him. But yeah, I thought, you know what, I'll just take him because he is Cristiano Ronaldo. Goalkeeper
Love.
Sara. Ugh.
Oh, isn't this interesting? I'm gonna say my goalkeeper, and then we're gonna finish on this because I'm on a very good road right now.
Oh,
It's Iker Casillas. Come on.
it had to be. It had to
It
be for you.
absolutely had to be. And when I was trying to figure out my formation, thinking I only could take two Real players, he was constantly one of them. Iker Casillas, maybe the epitome of one of the players that epitomizes Spanish football.
Mm.
The best keeper in my eyes, alongside maybe Gigi Buffon. We just spoke about this week. You said maybe Manuel Neuer would disagree with that, and that's totally fine with me because Iker Casillas is the best Spanish keeper for sure, hands down. And I'm very happy that he can make this lineup.
I mean, this is what we're here for as well. We're here to celebrate some of the greatest players ever in La Liga. And Iker Casillas, for me, again, he just when you think of Spanish football, the first player for me that I think of is Iker Casillas because of what he's done in the game, how he improved his game year in, year out. And when you're seeing him in the national team, just looking like such a leader, even from such a young age as well. That 2006 World Cup was ridiculous. The fact that Spain never really got as far as they should. And then he just came back re-energized in Euro 2008. And Real Madrid at the time, what 2007, 2008, sorry, they weren't doing that great. They weren't that hot. A lot of the Galacticos had left. Even their bigger players were like Wesley Sneijder, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Arjen Robben, not taking a dig at the Dutch whilst I'm wearing my Dutch jumper, but they weren't the best of players that we've seen at Real Madrid, and they were in that transitional phase. And Iker Casillas was still bringing up his prime levels as well, playing really good in the Champions League. And then when it ended up going to the European Championships in 2008, Sarah, that's when you saw how good Iker Casillas was. And then for me, I think we spoke about it last time. The best version of Iker Casillas for me was 2010 when he saw it with Real Madrid, saw it in the Champions League, the Copa del Rey, but especially in the World Cup, and especially Johannesburg World Cup final. Arjen Robben, one-on-one, toe sticks out, goes behind for a corner. Spain win
Yeah.
the World Cup a couple minutes after that.
Yeah.
Vamos.
Vamos. That's it. That's it. Yeah, he's brilliant. He really is, like, when you think of Spanish football, there might be one or two other guys that come to mind, but I think he's up there for sure.
I know you're picking one or two of them later on as well because it's just how the draft works. And I've got to accept that. I have accepted it already. I always accept it. But yeah, great pick as well for Iker Casillas. And for me personally, I'm going to change up a bit for this one.
I'm curious, actually.
I'm because of the free player per club
Oh, well,
thing.
you're it.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm sticking to my guns with this one. I'm actually sticking to my guns with this one. I'm sticking with someone who was iconic for Valencia. He was iconic because he had icy blonde hair. He was a bit of a monster at the back as well. He won the Champions League with Real Madrid back in 1998, so before Iker Casillas was around, and he won the league four times in a. He won the league four times, twice with Real Madrid, but twice with Valencia. Who wins the league title with Valencia? Insane. And it's not Rafa Benitez. He also won the Europa League with them, or UEFA Cup at the time of speaking. It was in what 2004, I think. Sorry, the mic. Let's do that again. He won the Europa League and he won two league titles with Valencia. Introducing Santiago Canizares to the draft. Another
Well,
Spanish keeper. He may have been number two to Iker Casillas past 2004 onwards, but I think he's a fantastic keeper. And he's one of those keepers that I remember growing up. And I had him in my honorable mentions list for the top five keepers of all time when we spoke about goalkeepers at the end of last year as well. 393 appearances in La Liga as well. So it goes to show how talented he was with 149 clean sheets. But yeah, Canizares is my goalkeeper for this one. Do you have any memories of Santiago Canizares, rather for Spain or for Valencia, Sarah?
I think that 2004 Valencia Euro is unforgettable for anyone who watched it. Just because, yeah, like Valencia winning a European title is not as common as, some of these other clubs. So that was,
But it
yeah,
was back in the time as well. They were always challenging in semi-finals, finals. Got to the final one year against Real Madrid, didn't they? In the Champions League, which was really, really big. I
yeah.
think Real Madrid beat them at the same time.
Valencia were producing some players as well that maybe we'll find out later.
We will.
But they were yeah, they were a force. It's a bit sad to see the way they've kind of fallen off the last 2 years, especially because they were really a club that were not only producing players but challenging for that top six kind of position in La Liga, constantly in Euros. Now we're not seeing like European competitions. Now it's not really as frequent. So it's interesting to see how these clubs go through, such high glory and then, go through the waves, the motions as they do. But yeah, great shout. I'm a bit shocked. I thought you were going to go for a different keeper. We'll get to it, I'm sure, at the end when we do some honorable mentions. But
Yeah, I thought so as well. I thought so, but I was like, you know what? I'm sticking to my guns for this one. I'm sticking as authentically as I can to this two club team that I've developed as well, which would be good. But no, great shout for Canizares from my point of view. And I definitely know who you thought I was going to do as well. So I was going to pick this guy. So we'll mention him later on, which would be good fun indeed. First choice right back. Sarah, go for it. Who's your first choice right back?
Dani Alves.
Really? Really? Oh,
Sevilla. Listen,
went for Sevilla, Dani Alves as well.
well, this was initially, I'm going to keep this going because until I need to start making some serious tactical moves when we get closer to the front of the pitch there. But Dani Alves was incredible, as we know, for Barcelona. But we have to remember where he came from. He was
You definitely have to talk about him at Sevilla if you're picking Dani Alves from Sevilla. So I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Came to Barcelona from Sevilla. Another team similar to Valencia. And for some reason, I also always confuse Sevilla and Valencia for no apparent reason, but it's just
they both wear white.
White and like black. And
I'm trying to help you here. Come on now, Sarah.
No, it is. It's just something my brain does. But a team again where we see them produce players, and this is, coming over from Brazil and then really shining to a level where a team like Barcelona then picks him up. He still was that playmaker on the right, which is what I loved so much about the way Dani Alves played, because he is a defensive player, but he's still fast enough, will swing up the pitch and create chances for the attacking team as well, like the attacking players as well. I know he is more known at Barcelona, but maybe that's also because more people might watch Barcelona, but anyone that knows Dani Alves knows that that's when he really started to shine. So I don't think this is as crazy of a shout as, I don't know, we'll see what we do up front, but there were some that were, 10 appearances with Zaragoza. Brilliant.
No, it's not the case. But no, that's a really good shout as well, because there may be a few loopholes that I'll be looking to bend later down the line as well with my team as well. But I've got a challenge for you just to make sure you know football.
Oh, I don't think I'll know football. I'm already scared.
It's okay. Name me one moment from Dani Alves playing as a right back in the Europa League.
I don't think I can, genuinely.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, an easier question then. Did Dani Alves win the Europa League with Sevilla? True or false?
I think he did.
You think or you know?
No, I think he did. I'm not going to say I know because I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did.
Go on, back yourself. Yes or no?
Yes.
There we go. That's all I need to hear. That's fine.
Sevilla winning a Europa is just like, if you're unsure, just say yes, because like this sounds like that just makes a lot of sense. In recent years, it's been, Villarreal maybe, but Sevilla winning Europa it's like football heritage.
But remember with Dani Alves as well, he's one of the most decorated footballers in world football history, or ex-footballers in world football history as well. And the fact that he won so much at the same time, both of his Europa League winners were with Sevilla. And remember, they were consecutive seasons, 05, 06 and 06, 07. So I was like, literally, 05, 06, He won the Europa League with Sevilla. 06-07, he won the Europa League with Sevilla. And then in 08-09, he won the Champions League, even though he was suspended for the final, but he won it with Barcelona as well. So European football heritage right there for Dani Alves. So
He was the most decorated footballer until Messi won the World Cup in 2022, which was really like a year ago. Isn't that
literally,
crazy to think? Like, yeah, no, he's really done it everywhere. Class player. One of the genuinely one of the best right backs I think football has seen.
I agree. There's a start bench sale coming up soon, or maybe there will be for another one regarding Dani Alves, but I don't think many people will beat Dani Alves in a start bench sale if we're talking about all-time right backs. That's crazy talk right there. Great shout there for Sara picking Sevilla's Dani Alves. The listener, I need to repeat it. Sevilla's Dani Alves. So when you're thinking of Dani Alves in the draft, it's Europa League Dani Alves. It's not Champions League winning.
Curly hair Danny, like long curly haired Dani
He
Alves.
looked like Jeffrey Wright in Shaft. That's all I'm saying. That hairstyle was crazy when I'm thinking about Dani Alves back in the day. But no, great player, great pick, unbelievable choice for your right back as well. There was a loophole that I was going to bend for this one, but I won't because I don't think it will be necessary. But right back, if I'm going for someone, I'm going to stick to someone who I think, you know what, I quite liked watching him play. He wasn't the most glamorous of right backs, and there were probably other ones I could pick to pick a team into here as well. But I'm going to go for Juan Fran from Atletico
Yes,
Madrid.
yes. Oh, I'm so happy you did this. He was my number two. I thought if
Really?
you're gonna, yeah, well, I thought surely Dani Alves, but I thought if Hamz gets the first pick there, he'll probably take Alves. And then I was like, number two, Juan Fran. And what team is he representing? Just out of curiosity.
We're not going for one of his lower teams. We're going for Atletico Madrid. I'm not messing it up because I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to get caught out on the podcast. It doesn't happen. I won't allow it to happen as well. Actually, it happened once or twice, but we're not going to talk about that because I may have edited that out from recording. I didn't edit it out from recording at all. It's still there if you want to listen to the Kevin Prince Boateng moment in our all-time AFCON podcast. But yeah, Juan Fran was definitely a mainstay in Atletico Madrid's success. And I will say success because winning the league for Atletico Madrid was crazy. Atletico Madrid winning the Europa League was crazy. Multiple Champions League finals, not actual success, but still getting to the final was success in itself against Real Madrid twice, which was unbelievable at the same time. But I wanted to I'm going to throw a name out there that I wanted to pick for the banter. And if Travis was here, I would have picked him just to annoy him. I would have put Kieran Trippier in there for the sake of doing it, playing there for one season, getting a league title, and then leaving for Newcastle. But Juan Fran for longevity, for authenticity as a proper soldier of Diego Simeone. Welcome to the draft, Juan Fran.
Absolutely brilliant pick. I think those who remember will remember. And like you said, not the most kind of showiest players, very, very calm on the pitch, but brilliant footballer. And I love this show. I really do. I'm so happy you picked him. He deserves to be here.
It's true. It's really, really true. Centre backs, first choice for me. I'm going to risk it. No, it's not even a risk if I'm putting Sergio Ramos into the draft. I mean, come on now. I'd be silly not to have Sergio Ramos in this team. And he is one of my two Real Madrid picks. And I really wanted another one later down the line. So I'm just going to have to wait and see. But originally, I had Sergio Ramos in here as well as one of my picks because he was unbelievable. And I was tempted to put in him as a right back as well because he did play at right back. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ruin the authenticity of Sergio Ramos. The best version for me at Sergio Ramos was seeing him as a centre back representing Real Madrid year in, year out. He was a really good right back at Real Madrid in his younger days. And for Sevilla as well. And now he's playing back at Sevilla as a centre back as well. I mean, he's gone over 500 appearances. The top scoring. Yeah, he actually no. You may know this one. Did Sergio Ramos outscore Ronald Koeman and he's now the top scoring centre back in La Liga history? I think it is, right?
The top scoring center back in world football.
No, it's not. It's not. Fernando Hierro scored a bit more. He took
Okay.
penalties as well, Hierro. So
I genuinely thought that Ramos was potentially the most scoring defensive player ever.
I thought so too. I've just checked it here. But yeah, Sergio Ramos, La Liga stats at the time of recording, because he's still playing, 75 goals and 30 assists, which is unreal. And with Sergio Ramos going forward as well, I want to see a lot more from people learning about how Sergio Ramos played the game. Because when you're talking about centre backs, Spanish centre backs do get overlooked because you always think of Italian centre backs. You're thinking of sometimes English centre backs and French centre backs, but Spanish centre backs, cold, ridiculously cold at holding onto the ball under pressure, using the ball off both feet, and the balance of Sergio Ramos as well was unreal. The fact that he could hold a player off with one hand and then just swivel and pivot out with another hand as well. Monster of a defender, absolutely menacing as a centre back as well. And I remember the first time Man United played against him in the Bernabeu, just ridiculous levels of power against Robin van Persie, which is really difficult to see. But Sergio Ramos, I'm guessing, Sara, from your point of view, before I pass it on to you, he was probably your greatest pantomime villain as a Barcelona fan, seeing Sergio Ramos every season at Real Madrid. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I always told people when he wears white, I hate him. When he wears red, I'm so happy he plays for my team. It really is one of those ones. Like I'm almost certain that even PK and Ramos, even though they were playing on the same national team for a very long time, that they actually did hate each other. Like it didn't like it was so engraved within the two players that was one such a Madridista and one a Blaugrana player. Like he really was just yeah. You hated playing against him. He was so aggressive. And then he would score, a last minute header, come running in from the defense line for a corner and score it. His height and ability to score was incredible. But as much as I hated playing against him, especially because he was a Madrid player, he is an incredible defender, like really, really talented all around. And I was actually going to say, even if you had picked Sergio Ramos Sevilla, still legitimate, comes back, loyalty.
Makes a record as well in the meantime with a top hat on. Crazy. Have you seen that song from Sergio Ramos?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. It's crazy. He's the most capped player for the Spanish national side as well.
I
This is
did
what
not know that.
alongside Iker Casillas that there's one more that I have in mind, but these two guys are epitome of Spanish football. Come on.
I love to see it. I love to hear it. Great shout. Sergio Ramos, welcome to the draft. Sara, this is where you get your both first and second pick for centre backs. And let's see if you go for a Barcelona pick in this one. Are you going for a Barcelona pick for your first choice centre back?
I think I have to because now that I know that there's three players, it kind of because we spoke about it at the beginning. There are some of the best defenders in the world played in La Liga, but there's some. There's not a great amount. All the spiciness usually comes in the front. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to save that for maybe later down the line. It's in between two of my favorite players that have ever played football. So
And
let's
remember, you picked one Barcelona player already as well, so it's crazy.
yes, exactly. So I'm not, and I have another one. I've given you too much away. Let's not start with the Barca player. Let's also go to Atletico Madrid.
Go on.
Diego
Let's
Godin.
let's let's go. Let's go. That's the player I wanted to hear coming out of
Yeah,
your mouth. I wanted the first choice to be someone who actually won the league with a header against Barcelona to draw 1-1 at the new camp. Someone who led his team to greatness at a time when two of the greatest players of all time were going hammer and tongs at one another every single season. Incredible centre back you have in your team and really good shout. Talk to me more about Diego Godin and how he became one of the greatest centre backs we've ever seen in La Liga.
well, let's remember this was also during the era of Juan Fran as well, actually. Simeone was obviously still there, but this defensive side from Atletico Madrid was impenetrable nearly. They were so good at just holding onto the ball and not letting you break that wall. And that's how they would beat teams. And some people claim, yeah, it was boring. It wasn't a high scoring game when you would play Atleti, but they were so good at what they did, not to mention him for come on. The World Cup, Uruguay, that run they made in 2010. Oh my God. No, this guy is class. And
Did
I
he
think
take a
that's
penalty in that game against Ghana?
I think he did. I think he did. I
Let
can
me
check.
let me check whilst you carry on talking about it.
No, for me, he's one of the players that is just really emphasizes what class means. And I think Juan Fran is similar in a sense, but not only a leader, but he leaves his talking on the pitch. And I really respect that about him. And sometimes you want that in a center back because we've seen obviously the opposite, Sergio Ramos. We love Ramos, but listen, Diego Godin will just leave it on the pitch, and that's so admirable, I think. But just an absolute war horse in the back, truly.
I can't find these details of penalties. It's not shown, but I'm going to assume that he just played a really good part in the whole 120 minutes. And if he took a penalty, he took a penalty. But Diego Godin, welcome to the draft. Unreal player. And this is a make or break for me because now you've got your second choice centre back. And I'm really, really worried if you left it for dramatic purposes, Sara. Where are we going for the second choice centre back?
Oh, okay.
I don't
Really?
like this. I don't like this at all.
I don't like that. No, I'm more so thinking of what I'm gonna do next.
Oh,
So this is a down the line decision. Gosh. Just give me 1 second. I just don't know who I want to pick here. And if I leave this, you know what? If I leave this person out though, will you then take this person is what I'm hoping because this person needs to make the league. And if they don't, the draft, we'll start again. I'm gonna, I'm so stressed out.
don't adjust your set, ladies and gentlemen. It is literally just silence.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can have this.
Oh,
I will not take who I'm going to take in the back in hopes that I can take someone up front instead later on. And I'm going to go with someone who's played a little bit more recent football
oh,
recently. Spain.
oh.
Oh, who's calling me? Is it Salim? Because it's Pau Torres. I'm going to use a Villarreal pick for this one.
Pau Torres, really?
Yeah,
In your
yeah.
draft, all time.
I can't, we have limitations here. So you obviously know where I'm trying to go.
I
I
know
can't,
exactly where you're going, but you've got better alternatives.
I don't think I do. I don't,
Oh,
it's between this and another player, but I'm happy to take Pau Torres. Truly. I'm fine with that.
nah,
And
that's good. That's okay. I don't mind you at all. Silent will be listening back to this and be like, yes, Pau Torres is getting the recognition he deserves. He was amazing at Villarreal, probably with their standout centre back.
well, he was
When
so good that Unai Emery decided to go to Aston Villa and bring him along with him.
He's looking at getting Jeremy Pino next summer as well. Unai Emery wants to bring some of the better players over because Villarreal struggling right now this season in La Liga. Um, oh, okay. Good
Listen,
curveball there. No, good curveball there, but I
I'm
think
going
you've
to give
got
some credit to Pau Torres because you have to remember this player also came into think about the national side in Spain after an era of what was Sergio Ramos, Gerard Piqué, and Carlos Puyol. I can say them
mm.
now, and you'll probably take them, which like we knew what we were doing here, but
I mean, Sara's playing the mind games, but will I pick them? We'll have to wait and see.
well, no, but listen, you know what I mean? That was a tough defense. That was one of the best national teams we've seen. We speak about this Spanish era of football from 2008 to 2012. So I think naturally it's going to be hard for people to look at him the same way. But Pau Torres really has been a relatively staple position in the Spanish national side since that transition has happened, where there's been so many other moving pieces of who's playing on the wings. Is Alvaro Morata our striker? This year he's looking great, but previous years, we've seen the decline. Whereas Pau Torres, I think, has come in and kind of solidified that he's like, guys, I'm going to clean up the mess here. It's fine. You can put me in this position and I will play well. You mentioned his time at Villarreal. And the thing is with him is that we haven't seen his full career yet, right? So who knows? Maybe he'll go on and win the Premier League with
With
Aston.
Aston Villa. Oh, wow.
There you
Wow.
go, sending it to the universe.
Even when you're saying that out loud, that's crazy to hear, literally. But it might happen. It might happen. We never know. But Pau Torres, welcome to the draft. Um, Realistically speaking, I thought if you were going to go for a current player, you're going to go for someone who's currently playing in Saudi Arabia, who played at Athletic Bilbao and played at Manchester City and won the treble with them. I thought you were going to go
I
for him personally.
I have him as a backup as well, but I'm feeling okay about Pau. We
Nah,
can't talk too much because he's still playing. Who knows?
exactly. You never know. It could look great in a year's time when Pau Torres has literally got the Copper. No, he's got the Euros and he's got the Premier League in the summer as well. Like I told you, Hams.
Be
And
like
then
Pau Torres, and I'll be like, I knew.
like we knew about him. It's great. Really, really great. For me, I'm going back to Valencia for this one as well. Sorry, Sara. Sorry, listeners. I'm not falling for the mind games of picking an early Barcelona pick because I am saving for where they are most. I'm saving for where they are most high, where they are most
That's
gracious.
fair. That we're all doing the same thing.
We are thinking alike, and I'm liking this one as well because it's very, very good to pick. Roberto Ayala, the former Valencia centre back who won the Spanish league twice, won the Europa League once as well, again, UEFA Cup once. But for me personally, what I remember about Roberto Ayala was when I was watching the Olympic Games in 2004 in Athens. I was in Dubai on holiday and I was watching the final, the gold medal game, and Argentina won. And Roberto Ayala was someone who I was literally playing a game on my PSP, and Roberto Ayala was there for Argentina and Valencia, and he was on my TV screen winning the gold medal for Argentina. And as we know in Europe, Sarah, the European don't really take Olympic golds that seriously, but South America, North America, Africa, Asia, they take it very, very seriously. So I'm very happy to pick someone who's won an international medal for his country and was very, very good in the golden era of Valencia's football days as well. Roberto Ayala, welcome to the draft.
The Valencia shouts from you. You're 4 players in, and you've already got 2 Valencia players. I love to see it. That I do. I think this is great. Love.
I'm risking it for my top heaviness as well with Valencia, but we are all risking it, like you said, as well, which is not great.
That's so
Let
fun. Oh yeah.
I've ruined it for my left back. I've absolutely ruined it for my left back
Oh, don't say
because
that.
no, I have because if I pick this left back, then
Oh, you can't go up. Pick him. Pick him. Pick him.
It's such a superstar, absolute maverick of a player. But I'm going to leave him for you, just in case you're going to go for him, just in case you're going to go for him as well. I'm going to go for a left back who I thought, you know what, I liked watching him play. He was very big in the national team as well, and is not really someone who you think would be a first choice pick for a left back for an all-time La Liga draft. But welcome to the draft, Joan Capdevila, Villarreal.
You know how I feel about this guy.
Is quality, and you really enjoyed watching him play at the 2008 Euros and in the World Cup. Remember, as Sara said previously, if you haven't listened to it, by all means, listen to our all-time Spanish draft as well. But Joan Capdevila is the only player in the starting lineup in the 2010 Spanish World Cup side that didn't play for either Barcelona or Real Madrid, representing Villarreal. Outstanding left back, and for years, a lot of people have just been like, Jordi Alba's been amazing, has been incredible. But Joan Capdevila was literally a stalwart in that team as well. Again, not really doing great in the 2006 World Cup, but again, just like Iker Casillas, going up a level in 2008 and especially in 2010 as well. So welcome to the draft for me, Joan Capdevila.
Lovely, lovely. A little applause for Capdevila. Okay. Well,
We are leaving some big players out, Sarah. That's what I'm saying. We're leaving some big players out. Maybe this limit isn't helping us, but we definitely needed another person to go in for this draft as well. But where are you going for your first choice left back?
Right now, the fact that Gerard Piqué and Carles Puyol are not in this. Crazy.
That's on you. As the Barcelona fan, that's on you. That was your responsibility.
They're coming. Listen,
It's not falling for the mind games, ladies and gentlemen. It's not happening today. I've got another way of winning this, but it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty at all.
My left back is gonna be Roberto Carlos.
Oh, you went the other way.
I went the other way.
You went Passover present.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, does he count? Because he wasn't he was our lifetime.
No, he was, but I was thinking you were gonna go for Marcelo.
Marcelo was right after him. I thought you were gonna go Roberto Carlos. I would be happy to take Marcelo.
I used Real Madrid Sergio Ramos, so I kind of left it all on the table with that one.
For sure. I'm going with Roberto Carlos over Marcelo. Listen, I'd be happy with either of them. And Marcelo is brilliant, but Roberto Carlos may be the best left back in the history of football.
Wow. Bold claim. Over Maldini.
He's got that Brazilian sauce. Like, there's something about him that you can't even analyze. Like, there's just something, like, he's got all the gravy. Yeah, there's just, I mean, so does Marcelo, but I think Roberto Carlos maybe paved the way for Marcelo a bit, which isn't on Marcelo, to be fair, but both are brilliant. I just think Roberto Carlos, OG, part of that Galacticos team, gonna use up my second Real Madrid pick.
It's 2 for both of us. Oh.
Yeah.
No. Oh no. This is dangerous territory right now, Sarah.
I'm feeling good.
Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all.
What's happening?
We've got what, 6 positions left, right?
Yeah. I
Oh,
have
this is difficult.
teams. I might bring in third Real Madrid player now that I can. Who knows?
Well, I can as well, which is very, very fun to see. But yeah,
Yeah.
great pick with Roberto Carlos. Just tell me, excuse me, let me cough for a sec.
Oh, excuse you. Or bless you. Or I don't know what to say when people call.
It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, just tell me your favorite moment of Roberto Carlos in a Real Madrid shirt, because for Brazil, phenomenal. World Cup winner, incredible free kicks in the tourney as well in France, unreal technique as a ball playing left back. But for Real Madrid, do you have a
When
favorite moment for him?
Real Madrid, I think beat the Galacticos, and Roberto Carlos was on that team, and there was I'm not saying any more players because we are getting close to it's spicy.
Extremely close. Extremely close.
I have to say, as a Barca fan, that was my favorite moment for Roberto Carlos for me. But no, again, not necessarily a specific moment. As a Barcelona player, I think it would be difficult to specifically pick a Real Madrid moment, but I've
Mm.
seen what this guy can do at Real Madrid, no doubt. And at the Brazilian national team, what was it, 2002, right? I mean, what what is this team? That I think that team and the Spanish team in 2010 are maybe the two best national teams ever.
France 98? Brazil
France 98.
94?
I think 2002 was better than 94.
Ooh, bold claim with Romario and young Ronaldo as well. Dunga.
Romario,
Another topic for another podcast, I would say. Going through the
wait, did you
greatest
know
teams.
Romario is in the Brazilian legislation?
I
Or is
didn't
it
know that, no.
well, last week when we were speaking about George
About,
Way,
oh no, it's happened again. They're everywhere, these
what about,
footballers in politics.
players that have gone into politics. For Mario, the more you know.
The more you know. No one
Oh,
knew that before going onto this podcast, and now you do, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely done there, Sarah. Um, this is where the fun begins. Like Anakin Skywalker says, we are into our midfield, and for my midfield, it's going to be very, very attacking. So I've got one holder and two midfielders who are going to be attacking. But as you know, Sarah, you've got a false nine, so you're either going to have a defensive midfielder and two midfielders, or just a flat midfield three. So however you want to do it, fire away, my friend. First choice centre midfielder, going defensive first and then going on to attacking. Where are you going for this one?
oh, you're gonna hate me. All right. So wait, I have to start with wait, why is it my pick?
You've gone. Oh no, it is my pick, isn't it?
Oh, I should have not said. Can you imagine? No, I'm a fair player. It is your pick though, right? I did Pau Torres and Roberto Carlos.
No, no, no. You did Paul Torres, then I did Capdevere, then you did.
Ah,
So it is your pick. Here's your pick.
and where am I picking? Not
Defensive midfielder. So you're number six.
we're not going on the wings. We're going right into the middle.
Right in the middle. We're not doing wings just yet. We're staying in the middle, then we're going to our attack. So that's where the ride or die happens at the end, which will be great fun.
Well, you can take my last Real Madrid pick because I'm going with Xavi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso in your six.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
That was my pick. Oh my days. Nah, this is
Oh, you
crazy.
were trying to play the game.
This is crazy. I mean, now I get to pick an extra Real Madrid player. Obviously, I've got that freedom, but man, Xabi Alonso. Oh, I know what you're thinking now with your team. I know where your team's going with this one. I know why you've been saving certain players for certain positions. Oh, that's crazy.
You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing.
Oh my goodness me. That's ridiculous. Great pick. Absolutely fantastic pick. But talk to me a
There's
bit about Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid compared to where he was at Real Sociedad as well. So what did you like about him in that midfield with Khedira, with Mesut Ozil? I know I'm mentioning plays, but for the context of the story, let's hear it. When he was working with Ronaldo and Kaká as well. Crazy times for Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid.
his vision,
Mm-hmm.
unmatched. He could pick a player out before the player even knew to make that run and know that that player was going to get there and start sending the ball before the player even put two and two together. And like, it was just so special. And another player like Diego Godin, who also brought all the class, he kept his stuff together on the pitch in a way that was just so just the leadership too. Like I can't get over it. But this, I mean, I don't even have words. I'm starting to get like emotional. But
Can I just
truly,
say it's an unpopular opinion for me, but I think Xabi Alonso is a cooler footballer than Andrea Pirlo.
I think Xabi Alonso might be one of the coolest footballers ever.
I've said it. I've said it, ladies and gentlemen. The cat is out the bag. I think Xabi Alonso is a cooler footballer. Maybe not the better footballer, but a cooler footballer than Andrea Pirlo. I just genuinely think he's really cool as a footballer, the most calm player on the pitch, and someone who the game would play through his feet. His 2 feet dictated the other 21 men on the pitch, which is absolutely incredible. And he worked fantastically well with Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola as well, Carlo Ancelotti. And who can forget when Real Madrid won the Champions League and Xabi Alonso out of the final, ran all the way down the touchline, Mourinho-esque going to the touchline and celebrating with his teammates as well. Because if he was on that pitch, respectively, Real Madrid would have won within 90 minutes as well, because he would have just been outclassing that Atletico Madrid side because he could, and he did year in, year out for Real Madrid, respectively. So
And
Xabi
look at
Alonso.
what's doing at Bayer Leverkusen now. Oh,
It's great. It's really fun to
oh,
see. Breath of fresh air watching Xabi Alonso as well. His time at Real Sociedad was really important as well. But even as a coach at Real Sociedad, learning with the youth team, that's how he became a really good coach to watch and appreciate, like we do week in, week out for Bayer Leverkusen, which is great to see. Oh, tough times never last, as they say on the internet as well. So got to move on. Got to carry on with this one. There's a player that I can pick for Real Madrid now, but I can't pick him in CDM because it's not going to work at all.
not
So
gonna work. Don't try and do it because I know what you're trying to do.
no, you don't.
I know exactly who you're thinking of and
Actually,
what.
actually, you might know who I'm thinking of for Real Madrid, but it will be my last Real Madrid pick, so I'm gonna have to wait and see what happens later. So, don't worry, it's not Jude Bellingham, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely not Jude Bellingham at all. We're going for 2 attacking midfielders, and I'm going for 1 defensive midfielder. And if I'm going for a defensive midfielder, I'm going for someone who, you know what, is not going to be, for me, he's not going to be in the same class as Xabi Alonso. He's not on the same level. But because I need to represent a bit and I need to go through the way Spanish football is played, sorry, you know as well as I do, you don't necessarily need pace. You don't need strength. You just need a lot of brain power. You need to be controlling the ball properly. And you realistically need someone who can dictate the game. And I'm off to Sevilla for this one. And yeah, I'm going to Sevilla for this one. And I'm going for someone who I believe is going to make this team a very composed team working back to front. By the way, shout out Marcos Senna. You were one of my picks for CDM, but I'm going a bit attacking with this one by picking. Oh no, that's not. Oh no, there's another Sevilla player I could pick
One
now.
pick. There
There's
are
two.
two.
There's two Sevilla picks I could pick. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh no.
You shouldn't be picking a Sevilla player. There is one other. There are 2 people that should be in this position, and I picked one of them, and you should pick the other. And this is why this is getting out of control.
It's
Because if
chaos.
this player doesn't make the La Liga all time, I'm sick.
It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But how many Barcelona picks have I used? 1.
You haven't used a Barcelona pick. Wait, no, you haven't. What is going on? What are you saving them for? You want to? You want?
I'm risking it all. That's all I'm saying. I'm risking it all for later down the line as well. So I'm risking it all. But yeah, if I can get away with this one, I'll get away with this one. Xavi, welcome to the draft Barcelona pick.
We love to see it. We have a Xavi and a Xavi.
Yeah, Xavi, Alonso, and Xavi. I'm loving it. I was watching his highlights today because I'm like, Sara's picking Xavi, so let me just watch him and let me appreciate him whilst Sara picks him later down the line. And by the way, everyone, the Sevilla player I was thinking of was Ever Banega. So when you're talking about Ever Banega and you're thinking about Xavi, sorry, if you pick him, it's fine. I don't mind at all. But Xavi is one of the greatest centre midfielders Spain have ever produced, La Liga has ever produced. And when you're watching him play, football just seems so simple when you're watching Spanish midfielders play. And you're watching him play, and you're just like, I'll do that when I go and play football next time. And I do that, but not to the quality that Xavi does. And you're just like, oh, I need to continue working on my game. And that's what made Spanish football so great in the late 2000s, early 2010s, when you're seeing how simple they made football. And when they made football so simple, Xavi was at the heart of it. He really was the heartbeat of Spain's national team, Barcelona's European success, and their domestic success as well. And I have to say, Xavi as a centre midfielder will never get the praise and the hype he does from casual fans because realistically speaking, what can he really do besides playing his game year in, year out? And he scored some crucial goals in the Champions League as well. He made some ridiculous assists as well. Never forget that assist to Lionel Messi in Rome in the Champions League final against Manchester United. And Messi just had the most amount of airtime I've ever seen Messi have as well. And for some reason, he was kissing his Adidas boot when he was the one in the air. So I'm like, maybe it was a sponsorship thing for Lionel
Maybe
Messi.
it was
But
a sponsorship.
I'm just like, you should be thanking your head for that as well. I'm thanking Xavi kissing him because that ball was delightful. And realistically speaking, Sarah, to end off on this Xavi topic, Xavi Alonso and Xavi topic,
Of
name me your
course.
favorite Xavi moment.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know. There could be so many. National team, Barcelona with Messi. I think there were so many link ups between, I'm like stressed out about that. So many link ups specifically between him and one other person that will
Ooh.
um that at that time for Barcelona, like I mean, Spain was producing midfielders to a degree that was unfair. And just seeing the two of them play, I know this sounds like a bit of a cop out, but it's not necessarily a specific moment, but just seeing what these two were able to do, control a football game completely. And it was almost as if they were in their own world and element because they were seeing things that nobody else could. It was just so beautiful to watch. Like there was nothing that I've watched that is even comparable to that. That midfield was different for Spain and for Barcelona.
It's a fun analogy to interrupt you with that, but it's like watching the Golden State Warriors in their prime. That's the way I can explain it when watching Steph Curry control and dictate a basketball game the way he did
Yeah,
at his prime with Klay
just
Thompson, with Draymond Green, and especially when Kevin Durant was in that team as well. That was pure athleticism, meeting composure, meeting technical ability, and we saw that with Xavi and Iniesta. I know I mentioned his name, I apologize, but for the context of it, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, what a trio it was.
just
Just like
on the Golden State Warriors. Do you remember when Toronto beat them to win the championship in 2019?
I did because my family kept calling me every week regarding it, and I was like, I'm supporting Toronto Raptors. I've got my jersey here as well, got my hoodie here, which was great. So I was supporting them at the same time, and I'll never forget the impact that Kawhi Leonard had on one city. And then he bounced for some reason. He should have just stayed at the Raptors. It was such a
Oh,
fun
stay
partnership to
for a
see.
moment. He came and he left.
He did his business and he carried on. So like Javi Alonso did when he retired, lived it, loved it, farewell, put his boots on and just carried on. Like, cool. It is what it is, Kawahi. Don't smile anytime soon. Thank you very
He
much.
won't.
He never does, which is the craziest thing. But yeah, Xavi is in my team, is in my draft. Thank you very much. Second choice centre midfielder for me. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm risking it. I'm absolutely risking it for this one because I may have to salvage it later down the line.
What
My
side are we going? Left or right?
If I'm thinking, so I've got one in the number 6 and I've got two number 8. So one will be an attacking one will be
Yeah.
in a free role. So this is a midfielder who has the freedom of the pitch to do whatever he wants. And before I need to have a sip of water because I'm gonna start crying when I'm gonna talk about this player.
Oh my God, I know who you're picking.
He was actually going to be my wild card, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a
I'm
hipster.
actually shocked he wasn't.
Yeah, he would have been my wild card if we had a third person because the other person who would have been second, I would have had to pick him. 1 second. Death is upon me, but someone who should really be never dying in football, if that's an analogy I can use, it's not. But his footballing ability lives on through other players. His footballing presence has gone through immortality, really. Introducing Zinedine Zidane to the draft. My
Yeah.
third and final Real Madrid pick. That is a crazy looking midfield of Xavi and Zinedine Zidane. And realistically speaking, when you
Sorry,
watch
that's not your Real Madrid pick. That's your second.
no, free. Cristiano Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos, Zinedine
So
Zidane.
right, sorry. Continue, please.
I'm
Praise.
not I'm not having Ramos at Sevilla as much as I could go through a loophole. I'm not, but yeah. Zinedine Zidane for me, when you watch football, everyone, we've spoken about this before, Sarah, as well. Our first podcast may have been this one as well when we did it. everyone in that era of the mid 2000s growing up was looking at Ronaldinho, again mentioning a player, but they're talking about someone who actually would impact their lives as being one of their favorite footballers to watch. I was on the flip side of actually enjoying Zinedine Zidane, watching him every single season balling out. And it was at the time of speaking when YouTube wasn't available. So whenever he came on the TV, you were glued to it, you were stuck to it. And watching him in the European Championships in 2000 was incredible. Me personally, watching Zidane in the Champions League was unreal. Him at Manchester United, balling out in a midfield when you've got Guti, Zidane, Luis Figo, and you're just like, this is unreal technical ability. And I thought, you know what? You've got Modric, you've got Cruz. Again, I'm naming players, but Zinedine Zidane is someone who brought so much joy to me. And for me personally, I've never used the term GOAT because I don't use the term GOAT a lot, but he's one of my greatest ever footballers that I've ever watched, and he always will be because of the joy that he brought to a football pitch as well. Unbelievable player, Galactico through and through, fantastic footballer. Zinedine Zidane, welcome to the draft. Whilst I have some more water, Sara, tell me a bit about Zinedine Zidane from your point of view.
Listen, he was the first real jersey that my dad ever bought me. When I think we've spoken about this.
No, that's a lie. You had a Real Madrid jersey with Zidane.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? It was a France jersey. Oh,
I was gonna say, if you had that and you
I was
sold
tossing
it,
then when I was like 8 or whatever I was. No, we were actually traveling in Europe, and I was really, I think it was like maybe 10 or something, and it's obviously really hard. Well, it was harder at the time, especially to get kits in Canada, and
mm,
I was still like kind of young and whatnot. And it was I had another player who maybe will come up later, so I don't want to say him just yet,
that's
but
okay.
this was like a national team jersey. We were in Paris. The World Cup had just finished in 2006, and I remember that was like the first World Cup where I really like remember moments and watching it properly. And I just remember thinking like there's no one like this guy. Like he's so special. Him and I can't name players. But anyways, it doesn't matter. And my dad got me the football kit. In fact, I actually wore it to a match of mine the other night because it still fits.
That's a lie. It still fits, and you've not sent me a picture of your Zidane kit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I can actually just go get it right now. Should I just do that? Should we take a
Yeah,
moment?
yeah. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment. I love it.
I did actually just wear it. It's so funny.
That's okay.
Make this up.
No way. 2006
2006
World Cup Zidane.
World Cup Zidane. You can see it's a little bit, faded, but this
That's
was,
lasted you the test of time. That's
it
nearly.
really has, yeah. And it
Thank
still
you.
fits me. It's a bit like short, maybe. Not
Mhm.
short, but you like a football jersey to be baggy a bit. At least I do when I played. But
You
it
know,
would
if
match
you sold that jersey, that would be like $500. That's crazy when you think about it.
too. I love this jersey just because it was the first jersey my dad bought for me. There's so much nostalgia with it. And like this, I remember come on, the 2006 World Cup, Zizou, Italian final. Like, come on, there's too many storylines here. We're not gonna
Zizou versus Brazil quarterfinals, the best storyline for me. That was
is
a
it
crazy quarterfinals when he just dominated, created a fantastic cross for Thierry Henry to score as well in that
yeah.
quarterfinal. Unreal talent that Zinedine
I'm
Zidane
just
had.
I'm putting it out there. France should have won in 2006. I'm just putting it out there. That's all. That's all I
Oh,
have to
I
say.
agree. They should have beaten Italy like 2-3-1 in 90 minutes as well. It just didn't
Yeah.
happen for them on
Also,
that
like
day.
based on your own merit and talent, not going after footballers trying to get them to do whatever they do to you. Didn't like any of that. Did
Not
not like
not a fan. That's Travis every time you play football, but it is what it is for Travis as well. Is a demon on the football pitch he is, but I'm waiting to see when he next play as well. It would be good fun indeed. But yeah, that makes my second pick into the draft, my midfielders. But this is where Sara gets to complete her midfield. So she's got Xabi Alonso in the six. She's got Lionel Messi as a false nine. Who are the two centre midfielders that Sara's going to add to this midfield? Because I'm absolutely frightened to think she's picked one of my players who I've got as a final pick later down the line as well. So without further ado, who's your
no.
first midfield pick, Sara?
Oh, I think I know who you might go for, but I have a couple other decisions. But I think it wouldn't be just if this player was not included in this draft. We've spoken about Spanish midfielders. We've spoken about his teammates. I have one Barca pick, but I have two left, and one of them will be used right now, and that is Andres Iniesta.
I love it.
And I just don't think it would have been, they would have came for us and it would have been well deserved. Listen,
He was my final pick. I'm not even gonna lie. So
yeah, well, that's no, you don't get him. You don't get him and Xavi. Unfair. Absolutely not. Oh my God, and Zizou. Okay, first of all, both of our midfields are going to be disgusting.
they are absolutely filthy right now. But
Like even
Iniesta and Xavi and Zidane was the dream. I don't care who you would have had, but that would have been the dream for me. And I was hoping it didn't happen. But again, hope is not the case on our drafts that we have here as well. But Andres Iniesta, he played in a variety of positions. He played for one club in Spain, and he was the catalyst for success for
yeah,
Barcelona, from what I saw. Absolutely.
illusionista, as we called him. He could
I can
he
do his skill. I can do his skill that
yeah,
we spoke
oh,
about. I'm so good at the
croqueta.
la croqueta. I can do his skill so well, and I need
Oh,
to
that's
record it
brilliant
next time I
though.
do it because it was so fun to do. And I'm just like,
One of
it's so easy to do as well.
Well, the thing is with his skill too is that like compared to let's say like some of the more flashier, let's say like Brazilian moves and whatnot, but what he's able to do, it seems so simple. But then if you actually do learn how to do it, you realize like this actually could be like so much more used in football, and
I
it's so
agree.
important. And that's who he was. He like, to be fair, there were moments of flash, but it wasn't like he was trying to do too much. He was just that player that could pull it off, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He's not trying to scorpion you while, getting around you, but the way he does, it's just magic. He's so brilliant. And there was a part of me like when he scored the winner for the World Cup, idiot. Come on.
It was crazy.
Like
It,
I was happy it was him. Like I think there are certain players that, they get the acknowledgement, but
Mhm.
this was
They don't
so
get the love. That's the thing. Sometimes they just don't get the love. They get the appreciation. They get
yeah.
the, oh, remember when this player played? Yeah, he was good, but they don't get the love. And Andres Iniesta got the love of an entire nation, even Real Madrid fans, back in 2010.
Love, love. And him and Messi are going to play great on this squad that I'm building right now because Iniesta would just chip the ball over the defense constantly and Messi would wiggle his way through. Great link up. Great link up for the boys in Barcelona.
Oh, but this is a deciding factor now. Who's your final midfielder in your team? Where are we going with this one?
This is where it gets tricky
No,
because
it doesn't. It doesn't. Just go with your gut. Go with your gut. If you need to pick a Barcelona player, pick it. It's fine. I
I'm
don't
not
mind at all.
okay. I'm not picking a Barcelona player.
You're not in
No,
centre mid.
no.
Oh,
We have moves to be made up front, senor.
so do I. These mind games are not working for me, ladies and gentlemen. Oh dear me. Where are we going for this one?
Well, since Iniesta likes to play a bit more on the left, if I'm moving to someone on the right, I think it might just have to be. Oh no, there's so many people that we're leaving out. I hate this. I think
We're surviving by picking some of our favorites, which is a crazy one.
I'm gonna go with Antoine Griezmann.
As an attacking midfielder,
Yeah.
for who? Sociedad, Barcelona, Atletico?
Which one would you like? Not Barcelona, which
Not
I think
Barcelona.
everyone can agree that that is the right call. I had him as actually Sociedad, where he
I liked because he was a cam at Sociedad as well as second striker, and he was a winger as well, which is where he flourished with his David Beckham mohawk style hair as well.
oh, his hairdos have been insane, haven't they? I
Mm.
think. Oh, wait, so are you mad at this pick?
He was my right winger. You stole him from me. You stole him from my
I've
heart.
taken
Well,
two. Oh,
not from my heart, but he was in my front three. And I may have leaked it earlier on the group chat. And I do apologize for leaking it on the group chat, ladies and
you can
gentlemen.
link
But
it on the group chat.
I did mention his name on the group chat. So I was like,
Oh,
oh
I
no,
don't know if I read that.
that's
Happy.
okay. That's all good.
Listen, I think the longevity of this player has been so fun to watch because I mean,
Can I just interject the longevity at the top level of this player as well?
Great shout. Yeah, listen, he's played all over Spain, and like we mentioned, his time at Barcelona was funnily enough, his worst kind of spurt of football. And the fact that he's gone through the motions but has come out on the other side every single time. We are currently in a season of Griezmann potentially being the best or one of the best La Liga players this season. He's phenomenal. World Cup winner. This guy is class. And
Europa League winner with Atletico Madrid as well,
yeah,
2018.
so true. No, I love, I really think that he deserves a good shout here. I'm happy to put him there. I know we're talking about Spanish midfielders. There's millions to pick from, truly, but
So
Griezmann is
did
a delight.
Griezmann win the Griezmann? Sorry, interrupt. Griezmann is the delight, but I was just thinking, has he not won a league with Atletico Madrid then? Antoine Griezmann. He
No,
hasn't, has he?
that is so
Because he was at
one.
Sociedad in 2014. The
And
2021, he was at
Barca.
Barcelona.
He
Oh
was at
no,
Barca.
Griezmann's missed both of them. Oh dear me.
That's okay though, isn't it? I think he's getting his flowers, and I'm happy to be giving him more over here as well. So, but the thing is with Atletico is that they were also a team with or without Griezmann that should have won maybe, two more leagues in this, last 10 years and bottled it. Jeez Louise. So, yeah, Antoine Griezmann, I'm happy to bring him along to this club. Him, Iniesta, and Xabi Alonso. You never thought you'd hear that three ever, but that's a spicy little trio, and I'm happy about it.
Absolutely. One of my favorite moments with Real Sociedad's Antoine Griezmann was the freedom that he had to play. The fact that he went through such a journey to go from France to Spain to work in that youth team as well. And he came through the academy and the reserves like a firecracker, and his driven through his left foot was insane. And it was something that I got to appreciate when he was at Real Sociedad, because they were in the same group as Manchester United. And this was when his hype was starting to build year in, year out. And you're like, this guy's getting into the French national team. He's playing as a left winger. He's playing as a right winger. He's got the freedom to play how he wants, and it was fantastic to watch. But unfortunately, he ended up being more of a striker going forward, and he had his down phases at Barcelona. But now, like Sara said as well, Antoine Griezmann is back. He's back to his best, and he's potentially one of the best players, top three players in La Liga this season as well, which is a big credit to him, to his mental ability as well. Welcome to the draft, Antoine Griezmann. And now I've got to find an alternative for a partner for Xavi, Zinedine Zidane.
There's so many good ones, to be fair. Like that, we will go through all of them because I feel terrible that some of these players are not getting
I'm not
getting.
going. Yeah, I'm looking at a player that I want to pick, but I picked what, one Barcelona player so far?
Yeah, you have Xavi.
Xavi. Oh dear
Great
me.
Barcelona pick. Yeah,
But
you have Real Madrid is out of the question for you. You have one more Valencia pick.
ooh, ooh, Valencia. Oh no. Oh no, I don't want him in my team. I don't want him in my team, but there was a big Valencia pick I could have picked, but I'm not going to pick him. Atletico Madrid, I should have two left.
There's the maybe Betis.
Now I'm going to Villarreal for this one.
Oh, I know where you're
The
going.
hipster's coming out. Come on, it needs to be done. We're going to Argentina again. So we've got an Argentinian in our backline, Roberto Ayala. We're going for an Argentinian in my midfield, and we're going for Juan Roman Riquelme. And yes, that is the first time I successfully rolled my R's in sync on the podcast this year. So if you're applauding at home, I appreciate it. But Juan Roman Riquelme, I didn't do it a second time, is in my draft.
Riquelme.
Riquelme is in my draft as well. What a
Where
play he
you have
was.
him, sorry, playing here? Because Riquelme played as like a cam, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So he's gonna be doing that for you.
is going to be doing that with Zidane and Xavi in my midfield. So remember, he was part of that, not so much golden era of Villarreal, but the fact that he was so influential for Villarreal when they got to the Champions League semi-finals in 2006, when they were doing so well to get into Europa League quarterfinals as well. Fantastic player to watch. And he's a player that just brought so much joy to a lot of fans as well. 40 goals and 10 assists in La Liga history for Riquelme. Also played at Barcelona as well before the emergence of Deco and Xavi and Iniesta in that midfield. And he's a fantastic player to watch. But Juan Roman Riquelme, is the definition of a number 10, an old school number 10, who had the freedom to work where he likes, to play how he likes as well. And the fire that he had as a footballer was something where you're just looking at the calmness of this player. And he had fire in his boots. The power that he had in his boots was ridiculous. And it looked like he didn't even break sweat when he took a shot, because he was a long range specialist with passing, with free kicks, and with just shooting from outside the box as well. And I've got three of them now, Sara. Xavi, Zinedine Zidane, and Riquelme in my midfield. So watch out outside the box. There'll be some bangers scored from outside the box with this one as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have picked him, but I think this lineup is throwing me off because I'm not really sure how you're playing these guys, because I had him as a cam, but that would have been a 4-3-3. So I'm a little bit confused, but let's talk about, we'll get into it after. It's fine. Riquelme. Louis Van Gaal, do you hear me now? I loved it. I love that he expressed himself a lot at Barcelona, because this guy was talented and getting benched, ridiculous from Van Gaal. And then Lionel Messi comes to reincarnate Riquelme during that insane quarterfinal, Netherlands and Argentina. And there you go. Yeah, Messi, the celebration. Oh, that's like football poetry, is it not?
It is like, football heritage in a way as well. Justice for Riquelme.
Literally justice for Riquelme. So we love that Riquelme is getting into this draft. Brilliant pick. You said Villarreal, yeah?
Villarreal for sure.
Absolutely great shout. Okay, onwards. Welcome in, Riquelme.
Onwards. Now, this is where it's risky, because Sara said Lionel Messi's playing as a false 9. And this is where you get to pick your right midfielder. And you've still got a couple of Real Madrid picks left as well.
No, I don't. Yes, I do.
Yes,
no, I don't. No, I don't. I have Xabi Alonso, Roberto Carlos, and Iker Casillas.
Oh, no. You didn't go for Xabi Alonso, Sociedad. And it's on record as well, so I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
I didn't want any. I have no Real Madrid players in my top 3.
That's okay. Who's your right winger to partner Lionel Messi up front? Don't go breaking my heart now. Come on. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The one, the only. David Villa, Valencia days. OG Valencia player. Don't come for me, because I know he's a Barcelona player too.
But did he play as a winger at Valencia?
Yes.
I don't think he did.
So now we have to pick the... Okay, we really should go through these formations a bit more, because I feel like this is getting a little crazy, because I wouldn't have picked Riquelme to put as a right midfielder, but saying...
my team is like, you've got one as a number 6 and you've got 2 number 10s. So you've got Xavi holding it down, and Zidane and Riquelme got the freedom. Kind of like De Bruyne and David Silva had back in the day at Manchester City as well.
Ooh, David Silva. Anyone here?
May have given away my pick. Oh, crap. I should have said that out loud. Oh, my days.
Okay,
doesn't matter. We're carrying on. I will give you David Villa as a right winger, because he played as a right winger at Barcelona.
In the national team too.
National team he played when he was at Valencia, so I'm giving that. I'm not going to argue, and I'm not going to fight my cause. But David Villa was...
Wait, what if I'm going Atletico Madrid, David Villa?
Oh, no, he only played as a striker, so it's all good.
There you go. I know. Which David Villa am I picking? I don't care. I want him on my team.
It has to be Valencia. But, I mean, you can use Barcelona if you want, if you need to.
To be fair, it could easily be Barcelona, but I'm not going to use up that pick, if I'm honest. Let me just write this down. Listen, David Villa was my first favorite player of football ever. Before the Zidane jersey, the one jersey I had was a Valencia David Villa jersey my aunt got for me in Spain.
Nice.
I was obsessed with him. I think, you know, when you're a kid and you're growing up, and like the superstar guys that are scoring all the goals are the kind of ones that draw your attention first, because you don't like necessarily have the best understanding of it, and you love the goal scorers. Between him and somebody else, but he was really the one. He was just can convert everything, and that World Cup really solidified that. He was the top scorer in the tournament, just brilliant, and also doing the same thing after Valencia, coming to Barcelona and seeing him link up with Messi, Alexis Sanchez, Pedro, like it was just so brilliant. I was really the happiest kid around town for a long time. But he was like he's so special to me, just nostalgia wise. I love David Villa. I love him.
But that's what David Villa brought to just a neutral football fan like myself as well. Like, I mean, I saw him score an amazing goal against Manchester United in the Champions League final. And I'm just there like, he's still a fantastic player to watch. There's no resentment. There's no hate towards him because he brought so much joy as a footballer. When you're watching him at Valencia, he was the main man. And that's what I really liked about him as well. Him being a main man at a club was insane to see how David Villa would thrive, would operate. And you see a lot of main men in football nowadays, Sara, as well. Main strikers, they then move on to a bigger club. They're then used as a bit part player and they don't work as well. But David Villa thrived in that environment at Barcelona. He took on that challenge and he took it with both hands. And he was a superstar in that attacking lineup as well. An attacking lineup that recently had Thierry Henry and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and it was somewhat working, somewhat wasn't. But at the same time, when he was brought in by Pep Guardiola, he shone under Pep Guardiola, and he was part of that trio of Pedro, Messi, David Villa, 100 goals in the season or 95 goals or something in the season.
Silly,
Unreal.
silly. Just
Do
didn't
you,
make
do you know how
sense.
many goals it was in the season? Was it 100 goals, 90 goals?
I don't think it was that many. Hold on, David Villa.
2011, Messi, Pedro, David Villa, the three of them contributed to something around something around 90 goals.
Oh, the three of them.
The three of them together, yeah.
I think my David Villa. I was like, I don't think that happened.
He did on my PlayStation. That's all I'm saying. He get 90 goals a season when I'm playing him on FIFA or Pro Evo as well.
I will have to look this up.
That's okay.
Yeah. But no, I mean the three of them, they were unstoppable. I mean, when you're getting balls from Xavi and Iniesta and Sergio Busquets, RIP, it's been I mean, I'm sure like it's I don't want to say it's easy, but I mean it's definitely helpful when you have that kind of creative midfield, no doubt. So welcome in David Villa, El Gaje, Valencia Virgin.
To the draft. I'm loving this.
So you got two now. You got your right and your striker, and then I'll finish with the left.
Yeah, we're good with that one as well. But with my right wing, it was stolen from me. I waited patiently. The mind games were there for Barcelona, but my Atletico right wing was taken from me, stolen from me.
You got
But
a
that,
couple of good ones here.
yeah, we've got some good alternatives as well, which is great to see. And if I remember correctly, I've got two Barcelona picks left.
You sure do. You sure do. The only ones that you've used up are Real Madrid.
That's okay. I could go for a Valencia one, like I mentioned earlier, but I won't. And I'm not going to put this player on the wing because I may save them from. Actually, no, there's no one. It's my two picks in a row, so it doesn't matter who I pick. But all I'm saying is,
Just enjoy it.
it's okay. I can't put this player in my draft because it won't make sense. But as always, I'm going to mention him because he's one of my favorite strikers of all time. Henrik Larsson, you're not in my draft, but you're getting an honorable mention. And we'll go through honorable mentions later down the line. My right winger, we are off to Barcelona. We're off to one of the greatest Portuguese players we've ever seen. And then he ended up going to his arch nemesis, his arch rivals, who he publicly hated, chanted against. Sara is fuming with this pick, but
Yeah,
this is what
I thought
happens
you were
when
going somewhere else.
Andres Iniesta and David Villa are stolen from me. It's my responsibility to put in Luis Figo, Barcelona Luis Figo, Savage Luis Figo into the draft because what a player he was at Barcelona. What a fantastic player of a footballer he was. How he dominated the pitch from the wing was incredible. 105 assists for both Real Madrid and Barcelona, 67 goals in La Liga history as well. This was at a time when La Liga wingers were focusing more on assisting their strikers, working with their strikers, but Luis Figo couldn't give a damn. Like he couldn't give a damn about moving from Barcelona to Real Madrid. The Netflix documentary did nothing for him, and I'll happily say that he is one of the biggest traitors in world football. But he was an incredible player in this team as well. So Luis Figo, welcome to the draft as my second Barcelona pick because David Villa and Iniesta were stolen from me. There's no resentment because Sara knows football and she's a Barcelona fan. But I have to ask you, Sara, as Luis Figo was a Barcelona player, Do you think we will ever see anything like that in our lifetime when someone goes directly from Barcelona to Real Madrid again?
If you asked me 5 years ago, I think I would have said no. But
Mm,
honestly, the way football is going, you barely see players playing for one team anymore.
I
Playing
agree.
around so much more that it wouldn't shock me, I don't think, as much as Figo shocked the world when that happened. I think it would almost be not necessarily expected or something that people are going to be proud of, but it wouldn't be as harsh of a decision as Figo. I mean, like, players are moving around, players are, having these crazy career paths now, playing for this team for a few years in Spain, then this one, then like, it's more common. And yeah, you don't see the loyal one player, one team per player. Like, who's playing for one team right now?
Can't even think about it. You're thinking of youngsters now, like Gavi, Pedri, Kobe
Yeah,
Manu
there's
at Manchester United. But when you're thinking of someone who's like 28, 29, it's very, very difficult. We've even seen Harry Kane leave recently as well for Bayern
yeah.
Munich, which is crazy. And he
Yeah.
was at Spurs all of his career. Besides loan deals as well, of course, which is crazy. But you're very right in that. Loyalty is very it's on a thin string right now. It's on a fine edge right now in football. And you never know where anyone's gonna end up playing in football nowadays, which is crazy to see.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Luis Figo, welcome to the draft, my friend. And this is where I get to pick my striker. And it is a Barcelona striker. It is a Barcelona striker. And it is someone who I believe wins me this draft. Because he did play at Real Madrid as well. But his prime, the best version we saw of this player, the most pure version we saw of this player was at Barcelona. Wasn't at Inter Milan, it was at Barcelona. He won the FIFA Men's Player there as well. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to win this draft, but I'm hyping my team up. As ladies and gentlemen know at home, this is how I hype my team up as well. Two-time World Cup winner as well. Welcome to the draft, Ronaldo Nazario, Barcelona edition. Barcelona
Nice.
edition. I mean, it's just incredible what he did at Barcelona, and the fact that he won ridiculous. He won two World Cups is crazy, but the fact that he scored more goals per game for Barcelona as well was absolutely incredible. I could have gone for Samuel Eto'o. Shout out, I could have done it as well. But Ronaldo Nazario is one of the greatest footballers we've ever seen, one of the purest number nines we've ever seen. And before the injuries as well, seeing him at Barcelona was a joy to watch. You're seeing him play, you're seeing him ball out. His trademark of doing step overs, rounding the keeper, going past Iker Casillas. We are going to have to see if that happens in this draft or not, because it happened more times than not in La Liga, because that pace that he had, that pure pace that he had as well, was absolutely deafening to defenders and absolutely frightening to opposition fans as well. So Ronaldo Nazario, Barcelona edition. Question to you. Is Barcelona Ronaldo Nazario the most slept on legend in Barcelona's history?
Maybe, but I think it might be slept on by everyone, not just, you know what I mean? No
Not by
one.
Barcelona, not by Barcelona fans, but just in Barcelona
Oh,
history.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think he's definitely one of them. Like, it's not spoken about enough. But when you do think of the most complete striker in football, I think my decision is R9. I think
Mm.
R9 is still the best striker that football has ever seen. There's no one that in our lifetime I think has been any better. He's so well rounded. He's like his shot is disgusting. Like, I don't know if anyone had all the aspects that he brought to the game, like you mentioned. And yeah, maybe the most slept on. I think people forget about him too for some reason, which I'm like, how do we forget about R9? I don't know.
Can't forget about him at all. You can never forget about R9 as well. The fact he scored what 47 goals for Barcelona as well in 51 games. Incredible talent that he had at the same time as well. I need to get the stats up here officially. But yeah, he scored 47 goals in 51 games. He won the club Winners' Cup as well, the Copa del Rey and the Spanish Super Cup for Barcelona as well. Ronaldo was a phenomenon at Barcelona, is a phenomenon at PSG. And before the injuries, before all of that corruption happened, with him having
Mm.
to play in the final through Nike, I do think it is corruption as well. Ronaldo Nazario under Sir Bobby Robson at Barcelona may be one of the greatest versions of a striker we've ever seen in La Liga history. I'll happily back that any day of the week, because he was absolutely phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal because he is a phenomenal striker, a phenomenal being. And I wish a lot more people put a lot more respect on his name. Older heads will do, Barcelona fans will do, Real Madrid fans will do. But now you're just seeing him in videos of like Call of Duty and him with speed,
Yeah.
and you're like, come on now, put a bit
Oh,
of
it's
respect on.
fine.
Yeah, it's just not for me at all as well. But no, Ronaldo Nazario, he makes
Oh,
my team.
Ronaldo. Thank you very much.
OG Ronaldo, the Ronaldo, as Thierry Henry said on CBS recently as well, the Ronaldo. And again, he was what, 20, 21 years old when he did that at Barcelona? Unreal
Crazy.
talent. Unreal talent. And maybe Victor Roque could emulate that. We never know. We will never know. But I'm waiting to
Not get ahead of ourselves.
I need to get ahead of myself. I need some new Brazilian wonder kids, like I've said all season long. We need more of them coming through and actually shining, not turning
Well,
up like
apparently Vinicius Jr. might go to Manchester United, so you can enjoy that.
I'm dreaming if that happens. And Vinicius Junior's career will just go downhill if that happens as well.
I just can't believe that that they're moving this guy around for Mbappe, who's been,
I don't
really in the
it's
piss
not
out of Real Madrid these past years.
it's not worth it. Just keep Vinicius Junior at Real Madrid. Absolutely insane. And yeah, you got one final pick left winger. Is it Vinicius Junior for you, Sarah?
We're using my last Barcelona pick. In fact, he was
Can I just say before you introduce your player, we were so disciplined, ladies and gentlemen, with how we did this because we could have picked so many amazing defenders, midfielders, but we saved it for strikers. We saved it for your entertainment more than anything. And this change of even with 3 players per club has been so difficult to choose from. So, without further ado, Sarah, introduce your final pick for your team for your draft.
maybe the most entertaining footballer that has graced this earth. Smiling while doing it. It has to be one of my favorite players in the game, Ronaldinho. I love this player so much. I'm so happy to put him on my team. Absolutely incredible at Barcelona. Of course, one of the best players in La Liga because he's one of the best footballers that we have seen in our generation. Just unexplainable the way he plays. But when Real Madrid fans, at the Santiago Bernabeu are getting up and giving him as a Barcelona player a standing ovation, this guy has it all. Has it all, making your enemies stand up and respect you. Brilliant. I love him. I love him.
That's
My
also
front three, I love them so much.
I love it as well. It's absolutely fantastic. And again, it reminds me of when Ronaldo Nazário got a standing ovation for scoring a hat trick at Old Trafford as well. Incredible
Yeah.
player that he was as well. But Ronaldinho, 145 games for Barcelona, 70 goals and 50 assists from the left wing, maybe an attacking winger. I was tempted to put Ronaldinho as an attacking midfielder because he did play there, but I was never going to because I need to see Ronaldinho in his natural habitat as a left winger having the freedom on the pitch to dominate teams like he did season in, season out for Barcelona. And it was just a real shame to see that ending when you're seeing Lionel Messi emerge to become one of the best players in Ronaldinho. I mean, moved out to AC Milan because I think for a season or two more, that would have been greatness personified. Seeing Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o, Lionel Messi one more time, but they brought Thierry Henry in as well. And it just happened to be the case when Pep Guardiola is like, you know what, Ronaldinho, you are not for me. And that for me is when system football, manager football took over flair, love, joy of the game. Because now you're seeing it every single league, when you're seeing the top leagues now, system football is taken over. And when you're seeing someone, for example, like Riyad Mahrez do a skill or do a flair move or something, everyone's like, wow, it's amazing. But back in the day, footballers, not just fans, but footballers, professional footballers were influenced by Ronaldinho everywhere across the world. And you see more Mavericks pop up as well. Ronaldinho was the original Maverick for me at Barcelona in the mid 2010s. And he brought so much joy to a lot of fans across the world. And he still does to this day at the same time. But Ronaldinho for me is someone when you just watch, you sit back and you enjoy what you can see on the pitch and you dream of having the skill, the talent, the aggression that he had as well, and the strength we've spoken about before. Sorry, the strength that he had to continue doing this and to bounce off all these tackles from from opposition defenses in La Liga as well. Incredible talent that he had because we've seen that with Eden Hazard. He couldn't continue playing at that same level because he couldn't continue taking these fouls all the time. Ronaldinho could, and he did, and he was a showman. He was one of the greatest showmans football's ever seen as well. So welcome to the draft, Ronaldinho.
There it is, guys. There it is. I'm just looking at our picks, which we can read over, but you can so tell that one is pulled Real Madrid side much more than a Barca side. It's very funny. Maybe
before we.
it's not actually. I don't
Well, I mean,
know.
I got 3 picks each from both teams.
No, same. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to like see it from a different point of view, but I feel like there are a lot of well, the Luis Figo in my mind is a Real Madrid player. I'm like, get him away.
Maybe R9 as well, but we'll keep that on the down low. We won't let
Yeah,
anyone know
that's
about
so
that as
true.
well, which is crazy
Yeah,
to see. Galacticos right there, Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo. But when we edit this, it will say Barcelona, Barcelona, so people have to differentiate
nice.
between the two as well. Before we read out our team, Sarah, and we close off the podcast, and we give our thanks for how well we've done. Name me three, because there's so many. Name me three honorable mentions that we never got to pick.
There's so many.
There's
Okay, Sergio Busquets, Carlos Puyol, Luis Suarez, Fernando Torres, Yaya Toure. What?
Neymar.
No, Joaquin, Betis, Joaquin. Come on, we need Joaquin, Jesus Navas, David Silva, Santi Cazorla, guys.
So many picks in this La Liga all-time draft as well. It's just ridiculous to see who we had. Obviously, we had Courtois, we had Ter Stegen, we had Jan Oblak, who I was potentially
Claudio
going to go for as
Bravo,
well. Claudio Bravo as well. What a pick he was at the same.
Neymar, Romario, Diego Forlan, Tite,
Falcao.
Falcao,
Falcao, we could have gone for as well.
Aguero.
Gareth Bale, Di Maria. We had
Saul, Rakitic, Koke. Oh my goodness.
Fabio Cannavaro, David Beckham, of course, as well. Patrick Kluivert,
Oh,
Clarence
it's
Seedorf, Gazica Mendieta was in my original team, Valencia pick. Vicente, left wing, Valencia pick as well. Ridiculous. Alexis Sanchez, of course, we needed to pick him. Well, we didn't at the end of the day.
it's actually it hurts a bit, doesn't it? There's just too many. We were lucky. We were lucky with this one because either way we're picking class superstars.
I had Scaloni as well,
Oh my God.
former
Diego
Deportivo.
Simeone. Wow.
Simeone, defensive midfielder as well. There's definitely a part two to this where we do La Liga draft without Barcelona and Real Madrid. That's a
Yeah.
crazy topic of
Oh,
conversation.
sorry, my
Nah, it's all good.
FaceTime went off. There we go. We're back. I just had to mute myself.
Jordi Alba as well. That's another one.
Yeah, we shall see. Should we read our teams out?
Go for it, Sarah. You go for your team first, if you please.
All right. Iker Casillas representing Real Madrid, of course. Dani Alves, Sevilla days. Diego Godin at Atletico Madrid. Pau Torres, Villarreal. And Roberto Carlos brings my backline to a close. Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid. Andres Iniesta, Barcelona. And Antoine Griezmann, Real Sociedad. And up front, David Villa, Valencia. Lionel Messi and Ronaldinho from Barcelona.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Imagine if we could make teams in real life like this.
I'm just shocked. The amount of talent that we both have. There are no misses on this one as well. There's actually no misses on that one as well.
We've both done well.
Whilst I cough and I struggle for breath and for air, can you please read out my team? See if you play.
Yes, I can. All right, here's Hamz's team. In the back, Canizares of Valencia. In between the sticks, Juan Fran, Atletico Madrid. Ramos, Real Madrid. Ayala of Valencia, and then Capdevia as your left back from Villarreal. In the middle, Xavi of Barcelona, Zizou, Real Madrid naturally, and Riquelme of.
Can I just interject there as well? I'm glad you got me to pick Xavi because I was so banking on those last few picks as well for Iniesta, David Villa, Ronaldo. So thank you very much for you did help me with that one. So I do appreciate that, which is really good.
Of course, Xavi has to be in there. Up front, you have Luis Figo from Barcelona, the biggest trader we know, R9 of Barcelona, and then Cristiano Ronaldo, Real Madrid.
Fantastic. Absolutely incredible.
No,
it's absolutely incredible. And I'm just like thinking there's so much that we can go through with this team. But again, this will be something that the audience gets to decide with their team as well. Absolutely incredible what we've done. But yeah, before we wrap up the podcast, as always, I've got to thank all of our listeners for listening. Thank you very much. Do enjoy our content on social media. Do get engaged as you normally do. Absolutely fantastic. I, of course, have to thank my amazing co-host, Sara Poraria, for bringing the heat today because realistically speaking, it's the biggest podcast I've been worried about since doing drafts with Sara because I was like, you know what, this is going to be very, very tough. And then it just ended up being the two of us as well. I thought, you know what? Let's have some fun with this one. Let's talk about more of our favorite players. And we did. We absolutely smashed it this evening as well. Be sure to smash a like on our YouTube videos. Be sure to put a thumbs up on your Spotify's, wherever you're listening to our podcast as well. Sara Poraria, any closing messages for our all-time La Liga draft?
Listen, I hope this gets more people watching La Liga because you can see the talent that it pushes out. And no, I'm so happy we did this. We'll have to start breaking it down, yeah, by decades though, because there were just too many players to pick from.
That's going to be such an embarrassing podcast for some leagues as well. You're looking at some leagues and you're like, Bundesliga wasn't great in this league, and Serie A was not good in the 2010s. Very dominant with a couple of teams as well, which would be crazy. But no, I'm looking forward to that. And it's a very big topic of conversation that we'll be bringing up later this year, which would be great. But everyone, thank you very much for listening. Do take care. Do enjoy our podcast and do share them with your friends and family. As always, do follow us on social media and do follow Sara Poraria with her description in the link below. Everyone, enjoy your evening. Take care and goodbye.